Alright, so in this video I want to show you how to add the table of contents and how to add the pros and cons box that we have for our product roundups and our product reviews. And the table of contents is even good to add to, I think, all of our articles if they're very long. Um, However, we do have the table of contents already listed in the title bar right now. So as long as we keep it there in the title bar, I I don't think we need to repeat it again in the actual article, except for the product reviews and the roundups. All right, so let's get started. So how do we add this into our article? So let me go ahead and just remove this, and I'll show you how two different ways how we can add this into our video. First of all, we'll go into the theme design library, and we can pull it from there, or I've already made shortcuts to use it in different articles. So here's a design library. If you click on that and you go to the SB blocks, it should list all of these types of different boxes that are already created for us. So for instance, you can see here the different boxes for pros and cons on what they look like. And they're just templates that they have created. Even for the actual product boxes, to design those and make them look really good, they have a few of those. Now you can see some of them are for the pro version. We're using the free version, so we won't be able to use those pro versions, but we do use this one here for our product review. So for each product, we would actually give it this title and this box. And as far as the pros and cons boxes, there's also pros and cons for colors if you want to use the color ones for red and yellow, good and bad, or you can use the just the standard black and white ones. So as you can see, most of the rest of these in here are, some of them are for the free ones. Here's the table of contents, one version of it. Here's another version of it. And yeah, you can just search real quick here over here in the bar and find what you're looking for. So that's how you can find, and even these little disclaimers that you want to add to kind of beautify the post a little bit. We also use one of those for our affiliate marketing disclosures. But if you're writing another type of article that might be health related or financial related, things like that, we might want to put a disclaimer in there that says we're not lawyers, doctors, or giving you, legal type advice or medical advice to protect the company from any types of lawsuits that might arise from that. So I'm going to go ahead and close this box. Since I already have in the library created a few that I like, I'm just going to use those. So I'm just going to scroll back up to the top of the article, and here's where I want to put in that table of contents. Since this is a best music production software, it is a review guide, a product roundup. I want to add that into our existing article. So you can do it two different ways. You can kind of mouse over and find the plus mark to add the contents, and then you can do a search here if you know what it's called, or you can come over here and just turn on the outline, the list view here, and choose the add button, and then scroll over to the very last column, tab there, I guess you call it, for the synced patterns, and that's where I've saved the presets that I like to use. So the table of contents is here, and it's just as easy as click and drag it right over to where we need it to be. And then if you wanted to view the settings and that, just click on it inside of the cadence block area here. You'll be able to see those settings. So for instance, again here, let's go to the box, and you can see here it's going to show me all the H1s, the H2s, and H3s, and that's pretty much the extent of what I thought was the best practice for our articles. Putting too much more in there just kind of makes it look really cluttered in the table of contents. And as far as the collapsible settings, I have it to start collapsed. Otherwise, it tends to take up a very large portion of the screen, especially if it's a large article like this one, which I think is around 7 or 8,000 words. So, yeah, let's start with that one closed. I'll go back over here and I'll scroll down a little bit to the pros and cons section now. And here we are, and you can see there's a few lists, and right now it's very basic. It's just in the text format, but we can make it a little more easier to read, a little more beautified by going into those media blocks. So let's go back over here and find our pros and cons. Here it is, pros and cons, and we'll just click and drag it over into right above that section, and you can see here I've colored this more to be within our theme right now, which is blue and white. So, and then from here we'll just go ahead and add those pros and cons. So it's just a matter of copy and pasting it at this point, and going into that product and pasting the pros and cons. So let's do that. Powerful tools, intuitive interface. Come back over here. Sometimes it's a little hard to select inside the box. You can just expand the group a little bit, maybe make it a little easier to select. Just to see here. Here's our list view now. And there we go. And I'm just copying right now instead of cutting, just to make sure I don't lose track of what I've done so far. We'll add that one in there, and then we don't need the last two, so let's go ahead and get rid of those. Delete number 4 and delete number 5. All right, and then the same thing with the cons. Let's go over here and do that one. Copy, and again, we go back to the list for these. Might be a little easier to select. And there we go. And we don't really need the other ones, so we'll go ahead and delete those. Okay, there we are. And now we are finished. So now that we have those listed, we can go ahead and get rid of our pros and cons down below. Let's go ahead and delete those. Clean this up a little bit more. And yeah, there we go. So now we have our pros and cons listed, and then also a little section of who this is ideal for this type of software in this case. And one last thing I want to do is add in the disclosure. So back up here at the top of the article, probably around right before the first product review starts, we'll go ahead and add in the disclaimer. Well, let's just come down to here. I know it's a, there we go. And let's find that disclaimer. Here it is. And I'll just drag it right below there before the first article review. And it just basically says it may contain some affiliate marketing links. If you click on one of the links to purchase, I may receive a commission, yada yada. So there, we have that. I'm going to go ahead and save the draft here, and then continue working my way through the list there. So now I'm starting to beautify it just a little bit more. We've got the pros and cons box, and we'll just add the same process going through the article, starting down with the next one. We'll do the same thing. So I'm not going to show you the repeat of that over and over again. We just do the same thing for the rest of the products. We don't need to add the disclosure anymore. We don't need to add the table of contents anymore. One time at the beginning of the article is sufficient for that. And if we do a preview, we can see what that looks like. Make sure the functionality is working. And here we are. So as I mentioned before, we do have a table of contents over here to the right. Sometimes that can get overlooked. It is a little bit small. If you expand it, you'll see it there. And then they can, of course, go through and select that. But over here as well, now they can get a nice, beautiful table of contents here. And you might even want to center that into the middle of the box. I'm okay with either way, leaving it down the left side or center. And then you can see here our disclosure box is also visible, which again we do have one, that same disclosure down here inside of the right hand column, but if the user never scrolls down to read everything in there, they would not see that disclosure. So I do think it is important that we add that again to every one of our posts where there could be an affiliate marketing link. So even sometimes we will add these to our how-to guides. Maybe we'll add one or two, just trying to see if we can make a little extra sale off of that specific article. So we'll need to add this disclosure to all of our articles just to cover our bases. If we don't currently have an affiliate link in that article, it could get added in the future. And unless you actually knew every single link in the article and where it was going to, you might not realize that one of them might actually be a disclosure. And by the United States law, we are required to put this into our articles so that we inform our readers that we may receive a commission from this, and that we are covering our bases by adding in that disclosure. So that's it. Any questions on this, just give me a holler, send me an email or a chat, and we can talk about it. Okay? Thank you so much.